Last night was the last Republican primary debate before the Iowa caucuses, before the New Hampshire primary. Donald Trump making headlines because he was not going to participate. And I figured, okay, they're probably then not going to talk to him because Fox News would be upset with him because he's not there. They don't want to give him attention. I was proven wrong by the first question of the debate. Take a look.
So let's get started. Senator Cruz, before we get to the issues, let's address the elephant not in the room tonight. Donald Trump has chosen not to attend this evening's presidential debate. What message do you think that sends to the voters of Iowa?
Well, Megan, let me say at the outset to the men and women of Iowa, thank you for the incredible hospitality over this past year. By Monday, you will have welcomed me into all 99 counties in Iowa. You will have welcomed my dad to preach at your churches. You will have welcomed Heidi and our girls, Caroline and Catherine, into your homes. And I am so grateful for the diligence, for the seriousness with which the men and women of Iowa approach this process.
Right.
If I am elected president, keep an eye on the tarmac, because I'll be back. Because Iowa in 2017 will not be flyover country.
Right.
It will be fly to country.
Sure.
Now, secondly, let me say, I'm a maniac. And everyone on this stage is stupid, fat, and ugly. And Ben, you're a terrible surgeon. Now that we've gotten the Donald Trump portion out of the way.
Right. Okay, so fine. One question devoted to Donald Trump, but clearly we are now ready to get into the issues because here was the second question in the debate.
The divide between you and Mr. Trump has turned into one of the biggest stories in the country. And for 6 months, during this campaign, you praised Mr. Trump as somebody who you thought was an effective voice against the Washington cartel. You said you were glad that he was running as a Republican. But when he started to criticize you, your message changed. And you suddenly started to portray him as the voice of the Washington cartel and suggested he would do the Democrats' bidding. Which is it?
Okay, so, okay, fine. The first two questions were about Donald Trump, even though Donald Trump wasn't at the debate. But now we're ready to really get into the issues and not talk about Trump.
Senator Rubio, I want to explore this sort of larger issue. The campaign has, in a sense, turned into a battle for the soul of the Republican Party, establishment versus grassroots, pragmatic versus principle. You say that you can unite all of the factions inside the GOP. How?
Chris, let's begin by being clear what this campaign is about. It's not about Donald Trump. He's an entertaining guy. He's the greatest show on earth. This campaign is about the greatest country in the world and a president who has systematically destroyed many of the...
Okay, so fine. The third question, again, it's about not being about Donald Trump. But Lewis, now that since Donald Trump isn't in the debate, after the first three questions either being about Trump or referring to Trump, now with question number 4, we are really ready to get into the issues.
Governor Bush, it's hard for anyone with your pedigree to avoid being called establishment. But isn't that part of the problem in this race, that 3 others on this stage are splitting the mainstream Republican vote and thereby possibly handing this nomination over to an anti-establishment candidate?
Brett, we're just starting. The first vote hasn't been counted. Why don't we let the process work? I trust Iowans, Granite Staters, people in South Carolina, people in Nevada to start this process out. I kind of miss Donald Trump. He was a little teddy bear to me. We always had such a loving relationship during these debates and in between and the tweets.
All right, so Lewis, clearly the right decision by Donald Trump. He doesn't show up. They still just talk about him the entire time. Fox News completely blew it, right? I mean, the whole point here was no Trump, and it's all about Trump.
Well, when the questions are not really substantive at all,
No.
you're going to be talking about nonsense like Trump.